Hey guys, welcome back to this video series that I'm putting together for you. This is going to be on writing listings that convert and content. So overall, I think that the two biggest pieces of Amazon are traffic and conversions, and you need to know how to properly build a listing to get it to convert. Previously, we spoke about finding profitable products, product discovery, validating the products with real data. And so we use what's called a master keyword list. We use that to find the products, to validate them. We also use that to write the listing and to look at that. The next part is we spoke about in another video about sourcing. So if you haven't watched those would be the first two to watch, so you can kind of follow along with this whole private label process. This is like the third video that we're doing in this series. So I just want to go through a small presentation with you. I want to discuss what's important with building a listing and how to do it properly with the right research. I think there's a lot of bad information out there being taught by so-called gurus that make a lot more money teaching than they do selling on Amazon. And that's one of the things that's inspired me to help you guys out and show you how it should be done based on what we know about the Amazon algorithm, about getting credit for the way your listing is built, and then really digging into the numbers and how to raise those numbers, make a listing stick and things like that. So I'm going to go through this presentation. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can and take you through exactly what we do to build optimized listings or optimize our listings so that they convert well. First thing I'm going to do is share my screen. So again, this is pretty much saying that content is everything. You can do quite a bit to rank a listing and get it ranked, and a lot of people do. They know a lot of the launch tactics that people use to at least get your listing ranked, but then they quickly fall off, and a lot of that has to do with targeting the wrong keywords, not building your listing correctly, not converting as well as your competition. So we're going to go into some of those things and why content is so important. Now, content I'm going to speak about is going to be broken down into really two parts. We're going to talk about images. So you have, and then listing copy. On your images, you have 7 spaces to put images now. It used to be a lot more. People could click and actually look at more images, and it would lead them to that. But right now, really the 7 are the ones that show up, so you want to stick to that. You have a couple different types of main images or images that you want to show there. You've got your main image, which is your product as large as possible with a white background. There's a lot of terms of service there with regards to that. You shouldn't have any text or anything on your image. You shouldn't put any fake badges. You'll get complaints from competitors. You'll have to change them. The images that we see that convert the best are going to be the ones that are focused and really, the product is as large as possible, showing as much detail as possible. The reason for that is that psychologically, and we're going to talk about the psychology of conversions too. Psychologically, people see your product versus another's and yours looks bigger. People just automatically think bigger is better. And then that's going to give you the click-through rate that you want. Versus the competition and as they show up in the listings or the search results. Now, the other part of that is that you want an image that has a very good resolution because you want details. You want your image to show details of your product. The more details you can show, the better, because again, details equal quality from a psychological standpoint. You're going to convert better there as well. So those are the two main things for your images. The other part is that you want to have some infographics that really point out some key features of your product. That needs to be done in a very strategic way. You're going to do a lot of research on your competition. You're going to find out what people are complaining about, what features are the main things people are shopping for. So you're not going to just throw together 7 images of your product in different directions and then talk about, put some bullet points. You need to really do the in-depth research on what people are complaining about, what they're, what are the things that your competitors might be that are getting negative reviews that are preventable. So we call those preventable negative reviews. It might be that they they misrepresent the size of the product, right? That's easily fixed by just making better images that represent the size a little bit more realistic. And that can easily be avoided. So the other part of that is that you want lifestyle images. You want your product in a scene being used by people, or at least being displayed with other functionality, like in a real life world setting. That's important because people can relate to that image. If it's a product or a toy or a baby toy, you want images with babies, at least 2 to 3 images, because a mom seeing that, it's going to pull on the heartstrings. It's going to also make them think that that could be their baby, and they're going to want to buy the image to make that image come true in their own life. And so we find that both of those images are completely necessary to raise the bar. So if you see competitors, or you have images right now where you don't have infographics, lifestyle images, you're going to want to fix that. So video 7 or picture number 7 is often your video if you have brand registry and the ability to add video to your listing. I highly recommend you get a trademark that you so that you can do a video and your enhanced brand content, which is called A+ now. So I would make sure that if you're thinking about selling on Amazon, or you're already selling and you've got a brand name idea and you don't know what you're going to start selling, at least trademark a generic brand that could be you could sell anything under. That way you can start to use your lifestyle images and that video right away, because those do move the bar. Now, as far as your listing copy, there's a few things you guys need to know about. The first is that you have what's called indexing. Now, indexing is Amazon's algorithm that basically scans your listing, and they will determine automatically what they think your listing is and how it's going to get credit every time you make a sale. Now, that's super, super important, because a lot of people make the mistake of confusing Amazon when they first start selling their product. They do things like building their listing with a lot of long tail keywords or related products in the title or in the bullets. They will run PPC campaigns and marketing campaigns that target long tail keywords or related products that aren't the same as what they're selling. Amazon's going to see those clicks and those purchases and start to get confused because it's automatically being computed. And if you don't have a lot of sales history through the correct keywords first, then Amazon's trying to figure out what you're selling. And if you end up messing up your indexing, confusing them, and them not thinking that you're selling something that you really are, you could end up getting stuck to where you can never rank for a really relevant keyword. And that's really important for you to understand, because a lot of you watching the video might be selling on Amazon and have products that you've got super relevant keywords where you're not getting any impressions on PPC, where you're not able to rank beyond like page 3 or 4, and you just can't bump the rank up. It just gets slammed back down to another, like what you call ceiling. And that's because it's likely an indexing issue, that you messed up the indexing when you first launched the product. And so you need to understand what indexing is, how it works, because we're going to get into some really detailed listing information and indexing information here. It's not going to be some generic, like, again, guru taught like thing. I really want to show you guys exactly how this works. So the next thing you need to know is that you get ranking juice. And there are 3 types of ranking juice that you get. So when we're talking about building your listing for listings that convert and listings that will rank on the right keywords and stay ranked on the right keywords, you need to understand how you get ranking juice. The first type of ranking juice you get is from the match type, meaning if someone searches for diaper caddy and you have the word diaper caddy in your title, then you're going to get an exact match there, right? Because it's diaper caddy, diaper caddy. That's going to be 100% credit. The other part of that is if they search for diaper caddies and you have diaper caddy built there, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a smaller percentage of credit because it's a plural match. So the plural match is another type of match. Then you have what's called a broad match. A broad match is they searched for red diaper caddy and then clicked on you and you had diaper caddy in somewhere in your listing. You're getting a broad match. I'm sorry, that would actually be a phrase match because it's in order. red diaper caddy and diaper caddy. So that's a phrase match. A broad would be where if it's out of order, but the same words or contains the same words. So if they did diaper large caddy or something like that, diaper large caddy, and you have diaper caddy or large diaper caddy. So that's more of a broad match where the words are there, but they're just jumbled. That's going to be even less credit, maybe 30%. We know the percentages and everything, but you're not supposed to. It's like top secret information, but it's good to know that you're going to get less credit. So your phrase match is going to be about 50%. Your broad's going to be about 30%. Your plurals are going to be about 80% credit, and then your exact is going to be 100% credit. So knowing that match type and how that sale comes in and how it matches to what you built, super important. So the other ranking juice is where the keywords are in your listing. So if I were to be selling that same diaper caddy and I put diaper storage caddy as a exact phrase in my bullets, but I have diaper caddy in my title, I'm going to get some credit for the diaper caddy, but I'm going to get the diaper storage caddy exact match in my bullets. Now, your bullets are going to give you less ranking juice than your title. So if you put keywords in your title, you get the most amount of credit. And we know that it even breaks down to where it is in your title. You get the most credit for beginning, you get the second most for middle, and you get the least amount most for end of your title, but you still get the most for anywhere in your title versus anywhere else in the listing. Then you get credit, a little bit less credit for your bullets. You get even less credit if it's in the back end. Now, we're going to talk about the back end keywords a little bit because you've got a few fields there that do index pretty highly, but Amazon doesn't want you abusing them, and they're starting to take those fields away. And you'll notice some categories are starting to remove the ability to add extra lines of subject matter, for example. Subject matter indexes very highly, but people abuse it, and Amazon doesn't like that, so they're going to start removing that. And you already see that. So I don't recommend abusing or using subject matter, even though it indexes well, because what happens is if you're relying on the algorithm to check your subject matter, and then all of a sudden they take that away one day, it could de-index your listing. You could fly off of page one, and your sales are done, and then you have to work really hard to re-index that. You have to add that keyword back in somewhere, get it recognized, run a relaunch. It's a real pain. So I don't recommend you use the subject matter. Now, you also have the back-end search terms is what they're called. So that's about your third highest indexing. And then you have your description. Now, the description is like the fourth, but it's a super important spot for other things, and we'll talk about that. Now, the third ranking juice that you have is, search, find, buy versus URLs and how people find it, right? So we're going to talk about like if someone comes in and actually searches for your listing versus coming in from an outside link and just making a sale, right? So if someone comes in and searches the exact listing we talked about with the match type, then that's obviously the best. But getting a sale, no matter where it comes from, what they searched from, is going to give you a little bit of credit anyway, based on how you listed it. So you get that where credit anyway, no matter what, from a sale. So that helps. And Amazon's going to give you a little bit of boost there. So understanding if someone searches for, finds it, and buys it versus just any type of sale driven from any external source is really important, because you need to know later when you learn how to rank a product or to do the marketing. And when you do the initial launch, you're going to want to know the different ways to do that. And one of them is to have people search and find and buy your product. Another one is to use specific URLs that give you credit. The other is to run PPC, targeting specific keywords, things like that. So it's a combination of those three things that a lot of people use to rank at this point. But you need to know how you're getting credit every time you generate one of those, so you can accurately predict how many you need to sell or give away, or the marketing you need to do to rank your product based on search volume, things like that. And the last thing is you need to understand the psychology. When you write your listing copy, we were talking about how the images, it's really important that they're large, that you see a lot of details. Psychology plays a lot into what you're writing as well. So you want to make things readable, and you want to appeal to the buyer in a lot of ways. And we'll go through some examples there. So you don't want to just put what the product's made of, its dimensions, things like that. You want to speak to the buyer, their concerns, and everything like that as well. So, like I said before, we use Diaper Caddy as an example. I'm going to stick with it. It's not a product I recommend you guys do again. It's super competitive, as you can see by the colors here. This is what we call a master keyword list. I just put a new one together for this, so it's a little bit more up to date. You can see that the top sellers are saturated on these keywords. And what we're looking at here, we put this together with some Helium 10 data. We extract it, and then we make our own master keyword list. And we add a column called relevancy, and we're counting how many of these keywords are in the top spaces, because we figure that if more competitors are ranked in the top 30 or 45 position of a specific keyword, that means it's more relevant. It's very straightforward, very logical. So that's how we come up with our relevancy. And so what we're doing is I've gotten rid of all the low relevancy. So anything 0, 1, and 2, I got rid of it. And I only went down to 500 search volume. Here you could see about 771. And then I sorted by search volume. Now, I wanted to see the most relevant keywords and the most with the most search volume so that I can determine how to best build my listing. I want that maximum exact credit whenever I can possibly get it. So I want to build my listing with a lot of exact phrases that get a lot of searches. So, for example, I don't want to do baby nursery organizer in the beginning of my title when I want to put Diaper Caddy in the beginning of my title, because I want the maximum amount of search volume and credit for Diaper Caddy, because it's a highly relevant keyword and it has the most credit. So in order to properly write your listing, you should be doing a master keyword list similar to this. I show you guys how to do that in the masterclass, how to do the relevancy column, how to analyze products. I showed you guys a couple times, a couple videos ago, where I show you how we validate a product by looking at the master keyword list. Look, if you see a lot of orange and yellow and everyone's pretty much ranked on all of the potential keywords, then we avoid that product. But if there's a lot of greens and yellows, then it looks a little bit more wide open, and we might do that product. So for the sake of this product, I want to keep picking on Diaper Caddy, because I don't want to keep ruining products that are potentially good for people, and I want to, make sure no one does Diaper Caddy. So just look at the master keyword list so you can understand where I'm coming from with what is a good listing, what is a bad listing, because how you write your title and your listing should be based on this keyword research. Keywords are everything, right? So let's take a look at that. These are examples of bad titles of Diaper Caddies. Now we've got Amazon's Choice for Parker Baby Diaper Caddy. And then we got Diaper Caddy Organizer, Amazon's Choice. So a lot of you might be looking at these and think that these are good titles. Obviously, this one's super short, and it really only has Portable Diaper Caddy Organizer. Now it has a lot of different exact keywords mixed into this, and I think Portable Diaper Caddy Organizer, if we go back, we've got Diaper Caddy Organizer, we got Diaper Caddy, we got I don't think we have Portable Diaper Caddy Organizer, right? So they added portable to the beginning, which is a really bad thing to do, because portable just isn't relevant as far as having any type of significant search volume. You're taking the beginning spot. Look, a Diaper Caddy is probably going to be pretty portable. I know that you have the ones that hang on the crib, and that's pretty competitive too. I don't recommend doing that. But look at the search volume of these top sellers. For these most relevant keywords with the most search volume, portable just isn't on there. So you don't want to waste the space for portable. So that's a big X here. It's just wasting premium real estate in your title. I wouldn't build my listing this way. I would also add a lot of extra keywords. It's very short. Now, Munchkin is a major brand, so I need to point that out. They can get away with stuff like this, but this is why you can also beat major brands, because they stink at Amazon. They're just not good at building optimized listings. Every time you get a sale that they don't get, you're getting more credit. And if you can rank for more long tail keywords than them on a lot of their products, and you're just generating more sales, you're going to consistently get more credit for more keywords at a higher rate. Remember, where it is in your title, or a keyword in your title gets more credit than one in your bullets. And if you put more keywords in your title, you're just going to get more credit for more keywords. So if you can get ahead of a major brand that has a short title and has a poorly written listing and short bullets, you're going to beat them. So these major brands are beatable. Don't be afraid of those guys. And this is an example of just a bad list, bad title because it's short and it wastes space with portable. Now, along those same lines, we've got Parker Baby Diaper Caddy. Now, they've got nursery storage bin, car organizer for diapers, and baby wipes. Now, they've gone ahead and they've thrown in quite a bit of stuff in here. And I looked up the keyword search volume for nursery storage bin. I looked at the type of products that were on that first page. It has a very low search volume. A lot of products aren't the same. It's more of a broad search term. I don't like taking up space. First of all, the biggest strike is that it doesn't have any search volume. If it was a broad keyword that they had a chance for ranking for, and it had a lot of search volume, yeah, you can put another whole route. We call it a route, so it's another whole type of product or route of how people can find your products. Yeah, you want to put that in there, but this one's terrible. Car organizer for diapers, very low search volume, if any, and also just really confusing Amazon at this point because you've put car organizer now, and car organizers can be the ones that hang on the seats. You've got a bunch of different ones, styles and stuff. So this is a terrible listing because you are confusing Amazon. Now, if we go back, and we look at baby, what was the term that they did? Baby diaper caddy, right? So let's see where there's baby diaper caddy organizer. And we've got baby diaper caddy with 1,000 search volume. So what they did is by putting baby, you've got quite a bit of baby in the front. You've got some broad matches. You've got an exact match with 1,000 search volume. You've got baby organizer, another broad match, right? So I don't hate it, but organizer's way over here and diaper caddy's way over here. So I think that they spread it out too much and they put too many routes. It used to be, and this changed, but Amazon would index you and kind of match things that were like 13 away, 13 words away. They stopped that. Exact phrase is the most important. And remember, they stopped counting after a certain number of words to try to find those really broad matches that I was telling you about before. And you only get 30% on a broad anyway. It's very little credit. You're really, if you're throwing words in between, then that's bad because remember, the most you get is for exact match. So you want to have a lot of exact matches in your title. So this listing is just written poorly in a lot of different ways. And they throw in baby wipes. Are you selling baby wipes? No. Now it's for baby diapers and baby wipes. It's short. It's just, this is not a good listing either. I don't know. They might be a major brand of baby Parker Baby. Now, here's another one that isn't good. Baby diaper caddy organizer. Again, they have baby in the front. It's okay. Now they did get the diaper caddy organizer and baby diaper organizer, right? They've got all those in there. But again, they're confusing Amazon with portable car travel organizer. People are trying to get this car keyword, and I looked up the car keywords. I didn't have time to put them in the list. Like I don't want to go through it in too much detail, but the car keywords are okay. They're just not going to be something you want in your title to take up the major space. You have a lot of other exact keywords here that you want to build into your title. You know, you've got, even though it's a lot of the same words, you could still just repeat it a few times, like baby nursery organizer and, the diaper holder. So you've got enough roots and enough things that you want to just maybe repeat the title, repeat them a few times in there, and you want those exact phrase matches so you can really crush the most relevant keywords. You don't want to start trying to pull those long tail keywords and those other roots that aren't quite that relevant in. And remember, the car organizer could be anything, but it's car organizer. So car travel organizer, yeah, that's. You have dash ones. You have a ton of different types if you look it up, and there's not a lot of search volume there. Nursery storage bin, there were a ton of different types, especially for changing table. So this title, baby shower gift basket, that one's not bad because I noticed a lot of keywords that with a lot of search volume for gifting and things like that are very broad. If you want to throw something like that at the end because it has a lot of keywords that are searched with the baby shower gift and gift registry stuff, look, you can try to do that without really confusing Amazon because people do buy caddies on those keywords. But avoid throwing in keywords where the majority of the products that are there are completely different than yours because you're just setting yourself up to confuse Amazon more than anything. So another one, baby diaper caddy organizer, portable holder bag for changing table and car. Look, I mean, it wasn't really a bag. I've made sure that these were all pretty much the same, but portable holder bag, if we go back up, I mean, you don't have, you have diaper holder, but again, portable wasn't one of the top keywords. Bag definitely isn't on here. You're really, I don't know what keywords they were trying to get credit for there. They're just what it really comes down to. And then you have nursery essentials. That's a long tail broad keyword that has a little bit of search volume. And then you got storage bins, gifts with 2 pacifiers, 2 bibs. You're throwing in the stuff that you give, like bonus stuff. That's fine. But you're confusing Amazon. I don't know what kind of keywords they're trying to get credit for a lot of these, and they just don't do the research ahead of time to understand how to build their listing. You can very clearly understand which keywords you should target if you do your keyword research in advance. And that's the main thing I wanted to point out to you guys today. But we're going to go in a little bit deeper now. So what makes a good title? You maximize the search volume ranking juice. So you get those exact searches. You get the phrase searches. You get the plurals. You're getting all those credits. You're making sure that if you go back up here and you count this search volume, that the ones that add up, if you have a lot of roots that are the same, if it's just a plural away and it adds to the volume, or it's like a phrase match, and it's down here and only gets you a 1,300, but you can add it in and add it to the 5,000, then you want to make sure that whatever you're combining to add into your title, that make sure, first of all, it's relevant, but then it adds up to the maximum amount of search volume possible, right? So maximizes search volume and the ranking juice. The other thing is that it's exact phrase match. The other thing is that it doesn't confuse Amazon. Now, we talked about throwing in all those long tail keywords, things that gifts and trying to get those car keywords, things like that. Look, if that's a rising category and you're seeing a lot of products that are similar and you think it's a trend, yeah, maybe throw it in there. But if you have a ton of different types of products and yours is just like an afterthought and it's a very loose match, don't throw anything that's a loose match in there. You're just going to confuse Amazon. Now, it's based on research. Again, we're showing you the keyword research that we do, how we optimize our listings and build it. And so we want to build our title and our listings based on that. The other part is that it explains what you're selling quickly. Now, a lot of these guys follow that. Like within 5 words, you guys should know what you're selling. Portable diaper caddy organizer, baby diaper caddy. These guys do that really well. That's why these were some of the best sellers, because in mobile, you're not going to see the whole title. It gets cut off. And now even in desktop, it gets cut off. They broke a record for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Over 70% of sales came in on mobile. So if you guys don't know how your title looks and how your listing looks, how your images look on mobile, you're messing up. It is super important that you guys understand, especially when you get into like enhanced brand content, your images, your title. If you stuff a bunch of stuff in the beginning of your title, or your brand name is a lot of words, more than 2 words, you are going to ruin the opportunity to explain to someone what you're selling, and you're going to have lower click-through rate and lower conversions, and that's going to kill your listing and your opportunity. Believe me. So, and is readable. So the other thing is, you can't just stuff the keywords and keep repeating the same keywords over and over. You kind of want to make it so that it's divided up. I like to use bars. This guy uses bars, for example. So you see a bar here. It's basically the shift key and then the key right under backspace. That's how you make it. And I like that. I don't like commas because I think commas can maybe mess with indexing sometimes. It just makes it easier to form a new thought when you see a bar, right? So gray diaper tote bag would be something completely different. So I like you need to make everything in your listing readable, especially your title. Now, we've got the other 3 parts I want to touch on real quick. We've got our bullets. Just keep in mind that your first 1,000 characters are the only thing that index. This is as of last month, last time I checked. Again, things are always changing in Amazon. So this could become outdated. Just make sure you check or ask a comment or find me or ask in my group. Because this video as a whole might not be good 2 months from now, or even tomorrow. So that's the danger of learning from just YouTube, from videos that are a year or 2 years, or courses that were even 2 years, 3 years old, or from people that haven't sold themselves in years. Like you've got $4,000 to $6,000 courses being run by people that don't even sell. How are they possibly keeping up with any of the changes that are current, you know. And again, that's one of the biggest advantages that I think my students have, is that I'm launching more than 10 products a month. I have to constantly be up to date as to what's working, what's indexing, what's working with launches, you know, PPC, latest strategies, things like that. So for now, you got the first 1,000 characters in your bullets. You've got your competitor concerns are super important to write about in your bullets. I think that if you don't do the proper research beyond the keyword research, you're definitely at a disadvantage. You need to go look at the other sellers that are selling the product with a lot of reviews and read through those reviews. Helium 10, who we used for the keyword research, they have a great review grabber. You can go through and see what words are repeated a lot in their analysis section, and you can come up with the same thing being repeated over and over, like zipper broke, right? So you know you need to improve your zipper. It could also, it's a really big thing that we do when we're developing the product in the beginning, but when you're writing your listing, it's really important as well. So look at those other concerns. If it's something that is repeated and you can address that concern, maybe people thought it was good for use of something else. It's the same exact product you're selling, but people kept making the same mistake over and over, buying it for a use that it isn't for. You could address that immediately in your top bullet. Hey, this isn't for you if you're looking for, right? So make sure that you address those concerns. Quality is super important to touch on in a bullet. Warranty is is something that we touch on. Now, Amazon's getting weird about warranty language, so check on the latest terms of service there. They don't want you necessarily directing or using a word like guarantee. That's a word they definitely don't want. But you can say that you have a brand warranty. It is a way to get people off. Once you have brand registry, if you're the only one offering a warranty, then your competitors or people that are trying to hijack your listing can't offer that same warranty because it's a manufacturer warranty and you're the manufacturer. So that's a way to get hijackers off as well. So you can make complaints there that they're not selling something authentic and that they're not selling it with the warranty that's supposed to be included, because they can't. The other part is that, is it readable? Again, we talked about readable being super important. That's also important for your bullets. So try to keep your bullets to under 250 characters. Remember, the first 4 are going to index for the most part in that scenario. And get those keywords stuffed in there, but make sure it's readable and addresses these concerns and these issues. The other part of this is your back-end search terms. So we talked about that. So if you go to your edit and you got your search terms tab or your keywords tab, you got a search terms section, you get 250 characters in there. This is where Amazon has specifically given you the opportunity to rank some additional keywords or talk about what you're selling, so they can to help them with indexing. This is where they want you to help them. So what we do is you don't use commas. You don't need commas there. But we will put any foreign language keywords. So whatever diaper caddy is in Spanish, it probably has a few hundred searches a month. I guarantee it. So if you want to index for that and rank for it, which is helpful, it could add to the number of sales that, again, give you credit for the English keywords, because every time you make a sale, remember, you get credit. So you want to make sure you don't neglect things like that. So we put that in there. Now, you can't put any brand names. That's super important because you'll get dinged for violating trademarks, things like that. So don't do that. What we're doing is that we're leaving it mostly blank at this point, besides those foreign language and maybe a really important long tail keyword that we didn't get to put anywhere else in our listing. The reason that we're doing this is because we're going to fix our indexing later. We're going to track all of our major keywords, like the list that you see. We're going to track all those keywords. We use, again, Helium 10. They have a good keyword tracker. And if we see that we're having issues with any of our indexing, we're just not, Amazon's not relating the two. If we go back later and we just add that keyword to this field, a lot of times it'll click and then start indexing and ranking. So we don't just try to soak up and stuff the 250 characters, repeat keywords. We're leaving this as like an ace in the hole so that we can go back later and add it later. Now, the subject matter field on your back end does index really, really well. But again, we're leaving that blank because Amazon doesn't like it. We're already starting to see where Amazon is starting to remove the ability to put 5 lines of subject matter. It used to be 5 lines, 50 characters. Now what they're doing is you only get 1 line. And a lot of different, like, this isn't for all categories, for all products. They're kind of just rolling it out in beta and testing and taking it away from some products to see how it affects product, because this is a massive de-indexing issue if people were taking advantage. Now, it's their own fault. This isn't supposed to be somewhere where you stuff keywords, but people were doing it. And now it could hurt their business really quite a bit because they were relying for the indexing in that field. And when it's taken out, all of a sudden you're going to have trouble with Amazon knowing what you're selling. They're going to have to try to find it somewhere else in your listing to give you credit for it and index it. And you could go from number 3 to number 30 overnight, and all of a sudden your sales go down pretty drastically as well for any search terms that you get de-indexed. So major issue. I highly recommend avoiding using the subject matter. Now, you have your description. What's interesting is that it gives you the least amount of ranking juice of all of them. So there are different levels and percentages and stuff like that, but it gives you the least amount, but it also indexes really well. The most important thing that you understand there is that you can use HTML coding. You can use very simple HTML coding. Don't stuff it with images or anything like that. That's against the rules. Don't put any links. It's against the rules. But you can put bold. You can add lines. You can really dress it up so that thoughts are there. This is important to know because if you don't have brand registry and you don't have enhanced brand content, this is what shows up. And on mobile, your description and your enhanced brand content show up before your bullets now. So if, again, remember we talked about how important mobile is. If you're going to search right now, you're going to see someone's description before you see their bullets. So you can't cut and paste your bullets in there, and it doesn't make sense to because you stuffed a lot. But get those same points in there. Also describe and talk about your company. Have a personal connection with the person to talk to them about your brand. Hey, we were founded by a married couple that cares about this cause or this type of thing because, and we appreciate your support. We're a small business. Things like that, an emotional and a personal connection can help raise the bar a little bit. Now, when you first get your EBC, it's really important. So that when you first upload A+ content, it's called now. It used to be EBC. You don't want to delete that because, again, that's another place where you've indexed. And if you delete that, you might mess up your indexing the same way that if you delete your search terms or they delete your search terms, so or those other fields. So it's very important not to make a lot of changes. Deleting your description can be a recipe for disaster for a lot of older listings. I've seen it happen. A lot of sellers that were making a lot of money with a product all of a sudden aren't, and it's really hard to get it back. So don't delete it when you add your EBC. That's a major tip there. Now, here's how you raise your conversions, because there's 2 parts to ranking and staying there. And no matter how good you are at getting your product to rank, whether it stays there is going to be 100% up to, are you converting more than your competition? Are you generating more sales than your competition? And what is the quality of your listing? So quality of your listing takes into account your sales history, your conversion, and your click-through rate history. And it takes into account your basically a lot of different averages in history that they have for you. And so how do you raise that click-through rate? How do you raise that conversion rate? So you want nice, clean images, a main big image that we talked about. You want your A+ content. That's gonna raise the bar a little bit. You want that video in your image. That's super important. It'll raise it a point or 2 or even up to 4 points we've seen. Now you've got videos related to this product. People really browsing through and getting down to your reviews section. If they're scrolling down there, they're going to see videos related to this product. And if you get videos as reviews, those show up there. Now, anyone can post a video on your listing that's related to that product, to your product. So highly recommend asking for videos as reviews, because the more of those you have, it's content, it's engaging. People see the product being used by a real kid or a real person or grandma or whatever it is, they can relate to that. So your target market using your product is going to be a major selling point. Hopefully they represent the product well and then don't show it all wrinkled and disheveled and coming in a broken package. Negative is very impactful too. So make sure that you get positive up there before any negative can take those top spots, especially with images. And those images reviews are the next part. So you'll notice that right above your reviews, you have image reviews or images left by reviewers. If you get a negative image as one of your first images, then you're going to have a problem because that image is going to stick there and people are going to see that first, and that's not good. So you want to make sure that you're asking for reviews with images and videos so that you can get all of those spots taken up before you have the potential for a negative, because that could really impact your conversions in a negative way. But conversely, it impacts it in a positive way. So people that can see that extra content is king, will relate really well. So that really covers it for us with how we build a listing, do the research, what's important, what isn't important, how you get credit. Look, we flew through this. You can rewind it and watch it. There's a lot more to teach. I teach a lot of content on optimization and images and writing a listing and how we do the research in our inner circle. We have a 5-hour masterclass just on research and product research and validation, showing you how we do that masterclass. So you can find out more in the description. There's a link to it. And then we have the full inner circle mastermind and full course. That's like a college level course. Every single week I do Q&A with my students. I have them ask questions and I answer them for over an hour and a half. And then every 2 to 3 weeks, we do a deep dive, a full class on a specific subject. And we go in order. So we have like 6, 7 classes that we do. And when we get to the end, we start all over from the beginning because things are constantly changing. We're always updating the content to keep it up to date and to make sure that we are supporting the students. So it's like being in a college level class, and it's the only way I would have it, because I think a lot of the other courses out there are doing a disservice to the students. Old content, not good content, setting them up for failure, things like that. So I'm out here to try to combat that, and I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. So again, I appreciate it. If you want those other videos, I'll link to those as well, or you can subscribe or find them on YouTube, whatever it is. Just search for my name, Brandon Young, and Amazon, and you'll see a bunch of videos. There's a lot of stuff out there for you. Find me on Facebook, ask me a question, message me directly. It doesn't matter. Accessible as well. But I guess it's you could be watching this later, but it's almost the holidays, so I'll say happy Q4, happy holidays, everyone. Take care.